In the small town of Whistledown, there sat an old Victorian house, abandoned for decades, with a dark, dusty basement that held unsettling secrets. A new family had just moved in, the Hendersons, eager to breathe life into its forgotten halls. However, their enthusiasm waned the first night when a curious sound echoed through the house. As the clock struck midnight, a bell tolled from deep within the basement, its eerie chime reverberating through the ancient wooden floors. Martha and John Henderson shot awake, their hearts pounding. They listened, straining against the silence that followed. "What was that?" whispered Martha, clutching the blanket with white-knuckled fingers. John shook his head, his brow furrowed. "I don't know, but it sounded like a bell." The next day, despite the lingering unease, they continued unpacking and settling into their new home. However, the thought of the mysterious bell gnawed at them, an ominous presence in the back of their minds. Night fell once again, and as if on cue, the clock struck 12 and the bell's mournful chime echoed once more. This time, the sound was unmistakable. It came from the basement. Armed with a flashlight, John decided to investigate. Martha trailed behind, her steps hesitant, each creak of the floorboards amplifying their fears. The basement stairs groaned under their weight, descending into a darkness that seemed to swallow the feeble beam of light. They swept the flashlight across cobweb-draped corners and stacks of forgotten junk, but nothing seemed amiss, no bell in sight. Yet, the sound persisted, growing louder, more insistent. Their search grew more frantic until Martha stumbled upon an old steamer trunk. Its rusty hinges screamed in protest as they forced it open, revealing crumbling letters and a tarnished brass bell. The air grew thick, suffocating, as if the house itself were holding its breath. With trembling hands, John picked up the bell. It was heavier than it should have been, cold and foreboding. As his fingers brushed the surface, fragments of a forgotten past flashed before his eyes. A young girl, her face pale and eyes hollow, holding the bell aloft in a dimly lit room. Ritualistic chanting filled his ears, a circle of shadowy figures engulfing the girl. The vision dissipated as quickly as it had come, leaving John gasping. Realization dawned. The bell was a relic of a dark past, used in rituals to summon spirits. The girl had been a vessel, her life tragically intertwined with the malevolent entity that now haunted the house. They had awoken something ancient and vengeful. The bell rang louder, though untouched, its sound no longer melancholic but screaming with anger, a spectral cry demanding release. Martha's voice broke through John's trance. "We have to leave. Now." With a final glance at the cursed artifact, they fled up the stairs, the bell's clanging growing fainter but more frantic, as if it knew they were attempting to escape. Outside, gasping for breath, they resolved to never return. The house loomed behind them, dark and silent, yet the bell's echo carried on the wind, a sinister reminder of the forgotten horror they had uncovered.